Something wasn't right. I said, this has to be more to life than this. I can't just live for the weekend.
Okay. I'm very interested in the utility of spiritual belief.
Yeah.
How it can give people value in their life, whether or not it's true or not.
Yeah.
So, do you consider yourself to have spiritual beliefs?
Yes, I am a Christian, yes.
You're Christian?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe a first question is, how did you come to Christianity?
Well, it was kind of, this was in 2007, I had sort of what they call the existential crisis.
Oh yeah.
Where you ask yourself the three questions: who am I? Why am I here? What happens when I die?
And there's more.
Yeah, there's plenty more, but those are the three why questions.
Yeah, sure.
And I had lived my life as uni, as in the debauchery of girls, drinking, clubbing, money and spending stuff on possession.
Right.
But it never fulfilled the void what I was looking for. Because you buy this stuff, but you're thinking, I've got this, but so what? What's next? It's like, for example, you go to a club, meet some nice girl, have the shut up lines, you bring her to your home, you sleep with her, but after you've done your business, you're thinking, what's she doing here? Is this what life's all about?
I see.
Just living for the moment, living for pleasure, nothing that's sustaining, and obviously that increases a depression in me.
Right.
Something wasn't right. I said, this has to be more to life than this. I can't just live for the weekend.
Okay, great.
If you did that, it'd just be, yeah.
Seems pointless.
Yeah,
so, due to these experiences,
Yes.
it led you to Christianity?
It led me to, yeah.
Did you have a background in it?
Well, my parents were more lukewarm. They had more of a cultural faith.
Okay, understand.
Then I rebelled against it when I was 16. Of
course.
I was forced to go to church and I hated it.
Right.
So, because I wanted to play Sunday school football.
Right.
So I rebelled against it. All my mum said, we don't have to go to church. It was one of my happiest days I can remember. I can go and play football, I can play video games and stuff. And I lived my life like, I wouldn't say I would never class myself as an atheist, but I lived like I said, God didn't exist.
Right, okay.
So I just sort of, played around, thought divine, I'm a relatively good person. Yeah, but it wasn't satisfying. There was something missing, which I couldn't really put my finger on.
Right. So you had this feeling that there was a lack of meaning.
Yes.
And did you have a crisis, an existential crisis?
Yes, I did at 23 years old.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And no, not great.
And I thought I was going to die.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then that you connected to Christianity.
Well, it was more of a case of Christianity found me because I was playing semi-pro football for a football club. At the time it was Kingstonian.
Okay.
And he was a Christian at the time, we were going to an away game in Margate and he shared me a Bible verse. And I kind of answered the question about setting the captives free. And that's exactly how I was feeling.
Okay.
I was feeling that my mind was captive. But I said, I've come to set you free. And I'm like, that actually resonates with me. And that started the journey to what led me to Christianity. Because he answered the questions that I was searching for.
Right, great. Okay, great. So, very nice answers. I had a conversation previously and it was very, very evasive.
Yeah.
For no reason. I don't see why.
Yeah.
So, it's great. You had these questions, it gave you answers, and for you, this has been fulfilling.
Yeah, it has
it's
been
good.
fulfilling, yes.
Is there, and you continue to follow the belief, or however you would say
Well,
it?
like I said, I had obviously, it's going to be a bit subjective, but obviously I had an encounter, which I believe was from God.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was the most powerful thing I've ever experienced in my life. And obviously, it just gave me a sense of purpose and a sense of awe. It's like the analogy I could use is like watching something in black and white, and all of a sudden everything changes to HD.
Right.
Everything just seems so different. I started to see things from a clear perspective.
Was that a near-death experience?
No, it was just I was in my room one night, and it was just like, I started crying. I think it was just me just crying for the sins I'd committed, and yet God still giving me that second chance. It was like as if I was guilty of a crime, and like for murder, and I'm guilty, the evidence is clear. And as I'm about to be executed, someone steps in, takes my place, and says to me, okay, I'm taking your place now. Now you got to live in gratitude, and tell everyone what I've done for you. That's how it was. And obviously I thought, okay, I had this sensation, feeling, and I felt it was so good. But I'm from a scientific background. I studied computer science.
Right.
I thought it's good to have this feeling, But I don't want my experience to be based on a feeling. After all, Jesus did say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He didn't say I am a truth. He said I am the truth.
Okay.
So if he claims to say he's the truth, I should be able to question Christianity with scrutiny. It shouldn't be something that I believe in, it's good enough for me. It should be, if it's the truth, that means should stand testing, legitimate questions, and stuff like that. And over time, as I was digging into the answers, most of the answers were answered to my satisfaction.
Great. And maybe one more question.
Yeah,
just short interviews.
Sure.
What's the most valuable thing that you have gained or continue to gain from this spiritual belief?
I think it's the fact that you live a narrative that's above human opinions. So, for example, sometimes, you may love someone because they've loved you back. In the Greek language, they call it aphello.
Yes.
But in God's language, there's a Greek word called akabe. That's the love that God for us. That love is sacrificial. It doesn't expect nothing in return.
Right.
That's the love that God has for us. It's not dependent on feelings.
Unconditional.
It's unconditional love, you see. And the Bible says I need to have that for everybody.
Right.
That's what the Bible says. Love your enemies, even those who hate you. And for me, that sets you free. So when people may be racist towards me, may say all sorts of things towards me, I say I have to love them as Christ has loved you, because you were once rebelling against God and God forgave you. You should show that same gratitude to other people, and that makes you happy. That makes you easier to forgive other people. That makes you easier to reconcile. So when someone does something wrong to me, I'm more likely to quicker to try and say, let's try and reconcile it. Even if I've done something wrong, apologize first. But if there's a conflict, I try to say, let me be humble. Let me extend the other person better than myself. Let me be the first person to apologize.
That makes sense.
Because humility begets humility, and that's a quality that we lack in society. We have a situation whereby, especially in the black community, whereby we're so angry. The white man did this, so I'm going to be angry. We don't have the humility to look after ourselves for personal responsibility. Say, okay, what have I done? What's the mistakes I've done? You see, and Christianity makes you.
It's admirable.
It has to examine yourself. Don't examine other people. Examine yourself first.
Precisely. Very interesting.
Because that's the only person you can change. Then you can influence other people.
I very much agree.
I can only change myself. I can influence others, but I can only change myself.
Right.
And that's the thing, you see.
That's great. So the things I picked up on were appreciation, integrity, humility, and maybe a sense of love.
And service to others.
Service.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for them, bro.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. See you later.